One of the big things that I've learned from Peter is that if you're at 6 figures and you want to get to 7, study people making 8. So in this video, we're gonna be breaking down 4 proven time management hacks and tips from billionaires coming up. Hey, what's up? Sean Cannell here with Peter Voogd, and we are in the middle of a business building series, and we've been talking about time management and productivity and really how to speed up and get more results. Now, we just finished up a video with 5 of your productivity tips, and that's over on my channel, Think Media, but now this is the next level. This is that deeper level, right, Peter? Of some billionaire time management hacks. But before we dive into this, what is the importance of getting ahead of our productivity and our time management in the new economy?
I think there's nothing more important than maximizing your time. That's everything. It's lifestyle, it's fulfillment, it's success, it's family, it's income. So getting on top of productivity and understanding the importance of maximizing your time and doing it like the most successful people in the world, it's everything if you want to live a world-class life.
I love it. And so we got 4 tips. Number 1 is get crystal clear on your destination. Where'd you learn that?
And this is, by the way, I'm not a billionaire. I don't want you guys to think I'm a young billionaire. I'm not Mark Zuckerberg. But from talking to the most successful people I know, some have sold their company for $800 million. And a lot of people that I know that are at the 9 and 10 figure mark, plus the billionaire mark, this is the stuff that I've gathered from them that I see is very relevant to every single extremely successful person, which is why I want to share. And it's helped me. If you want to be a millionaire, talk to billionaires, you'll get there faster. Yep. So if you want to get to, so for example, if you're not at 6 figures yet, this will get you to 6 figures extremely fast, and from 6 to 7 and beyond. So the first thing is they are crystal clear on exactly where they're going and why. And like we said earlier, they're very, very hard to persuade off that. They could have a mission and a vision, and 1,000 of the closest people they know or people that they respect could say, that's a bad idea. They're like, okay, and they still do it. They cannot be persuaded because they're so, like with every fiber of their body, they feel like they're leading a movement and they feel like it's right. So they're hard to persuade. And when you have a crystal clear destination, and think about it for you, if you have somewhere you want to go in your business and 20 people persuade you that's a bad idea, are you like, whatever, I'm doing it? Or are you like, man, maybe they're right? So think about that. Right? Are you easy to persuade, or is it tough to persuade you? So in planning, the middle is gone with them. You only have to define 2 points. I've seen them a lot of times define like a 90-day, 120-day, and then 10 to 25 years. So they're always talking about the next 90 days. Like, what is the game plan for the next 90 days? They have a vision for the year, but the 90 days drive everything else, and they have a 10 to 25 year vision. This was also in the Rockefeller habits too, but I know a lot of people that are at that level, they literally work like in 90-day increments. So they're thinking about the year and they're thinking about 10 and 25 years, and it's hard to persuade them off it. They also like to keep everything super, super simple. And they feel like if the strategies, if the plans, if the decisions, if the systems are too complicated, they're wrong. So people always reach out to me and they say, I have a business I think you'd love. I want an investment or whatever. Okay, what is it? Well, I have to tell you over the phone. No, you don't. It's too much to email. Well, if it's too much to email, I don't want it at all. I need to hear it in a simple sentence, like what you do, right? Yeah. So thinking about your destination, can you simplify what you're doing into one paragraph? Some people call it the elevator pitch, but they're very, very articulate in exactly where they're going. They don't speak unless it improves the silence, which is part of having that crystal clear vision. So that's the first thing, is making sure you know your ideal outcome, know exactly where you're going and why you want to get there, and have it be so rock solid that no one can sell you off it. You're so sold on it that no one sells you off it. That's a big key. And I see too many people these days that I know are not at the 7-figure mark because they're too easily persuaded and sold off their ideas. And I'm sure you've seen that too. Yeah,
super powerful. And I love, complexity is the enemy of execution. Yep. And so keeping it simple, getting crystal clear, and then we can move on to tip number 2, which is leverage technology and duplication.
So what I've seen is almost every single person that I've seen at that high level, they're always either recording what they're doing, having like a young prodigy watch them. They're always thinking in terms of duplication. They never do anything unless someone is watching or it's being systemized. So if somehow, almost every billionaire and multimillionaire I talk to, somehow if they got sick for a month, they could hand over their systems in one document. or one person takes control of that. So that's something that I don't see a lot of entrepreneurs having is they're doing so many things, they're not being duplicated and they don't have someone watching their stuff. We have an accountant in our academy that started at 80K. She's now gonna make $1 million. This is her third year in the academy. She's gonna make $1 million this year strictly because of her duplication. So everything she does in her systems or in her business is now duplicated and easily delegated. So that's a big thing. Leveraging technology means making sure you have the best possible systems in place, whether it's AI, whether it's something scheduling wise, whether it's a VA. They're very big, a lot of them, the new age ones. I don't know about the old school ones, but the ones I've studied, they're very big on making sure they have the best possible technology at every realm of their business. So thinking about what tools are out there, and I'm sure we could link some tools below. I have a lot of tools I've used, but they use the best possible tools to help them leverage their results and push their business and their movement and their agenda forward. So that's a big one. And I don't know some of your productivity tools you've used, but I have a lot that have made my life a lot easier. Social media, scaling, streamlining.
All of that kind of stuff. Yeah, being able to schedule social, whether with that's like a Hootsuite or using even something bigger like HubSpot or like Sprout Social. But you would probably say this, I mean, anybody that's scaling to 6, 7, 8 figures, they are not afraid to invest in their business. No. So of course they're going to invest in the best technology. I've seen people that sometimes they're kind of small-minded and, well, I don't know if I want to upgrade to this more expensive computer or get the faster internet. And it's like, what are you thinking? Yeah. Like every way that you could speed up by investing in technology is super powerful. Scared money don't make money.
Yep. And they always ask, what's the cost if I don't? Most people are like, what's the cost if I do this? They're always like, what's the cost if I don't do this? What's the cost of my business if I don't invest in this technology that could scale multiples, right? That's a big key. And they're also not just thinking like 2x where it's like, what can I do to 2x my business? They're always thinking like 5, 10, 15x. They're always thinking not just linear, but like global wise, big different markets, stuff like that, which is something that a lot of people don't think about. They're not thinking like, how can I maximize the town I'm in? They're like, how can I maximize the US? How can I expand into Canada and Asia and all these different places as well, which, I mean, it's a whole different ballgame. A lot of people can't think that far ahead when their business isn't at 6 figures, which is why this is good to know after you kind of get to that 6 and 7 figure mark. And I think adopt minimalism too. What I've seen is they have a few really important business partners. They have a few amazing friends. They have a few amazing acquaintances. They read a few good books. They're not into the overwhelm. They're very particular and articulate with who they allow in their life and what they study and things like that too. It's a huge key.
Okay, number 3, don't just maximize your time, leverage it. What's the difference there?
So maximizing your time is one thing, which is great, but that's an individual thing. Like when you start leveraging your time and duplicating yourself and building a team and developing people and really duplicating yourself, that's when you can leverage time and you can buy time, right? A lot of the successful people buy time so they can focus on the bigger activities, and they're always in their area of genius. They're the opposite of newer entrepreneurs. When I was new, I was Superman, like we talk about. I wanted to do everything myself. They're the opposite. They want to actually delegate as much as they can. Like Richard Branson doesn't even do his laundry. He's like, I want to free up 99% of my business, all my businesses, so I could focus on the 1%, that's my unique ability, and I could focus on the vision of the big company. So he would delegate almost everything except the vision of the company. That's him though. That might not be you, but you want to figure out your highest value and lowest value work. So what I've learned is there's something called the focus activity where they take the highest lifetime value, highest dollar per hour value, low dollar per hour value, and $0 per hour value, and they delegate. They figure out what they're doing that's the highest lifetime value, high dollar, low dollar, and $0, and they start increasing the time they spend on their lifetime and lower the time they spend on the obviously low dollar, zero. They delegate everything else. So duplication kind of has to do with delegating everything that is not your strength. So the rule for 6-figure entrepreneurs is if they can do it 80% as good as you, delegate it. They try to delegate what people can do better than them, and they find the best in the world at delegating. So if they're not good at copywriting, they find the best in the world at that, so they can kind of cut their learning curve in half by that. So they delegate almost everything. What I've seen is like a good friend Ryan Blair, who sold Visalis for 800 something million. He sold it for like 300 or 400K, bought it back for like 100, then sold it for 800. He he's almost a psycho businessman in a good way. Like he's so out there. But he doesn't really do anything. And he says when he does some things on social media, if he does it, he loses money because he knows his worth per hour. So they're just monomaniacal on their highest value work, and they let no one else do the highest value. They delegate everything else. So I think for someone watching, figure out what your highest lifetime activity is. These are activities that pay you long-term. Investing, hiring, books, maybe audio programs. You do them once and they keep paying you. So legacy focus. So if I write a book, it's not gonna be instant value or money, but when it's out, it's a legacy focus. I get paid for it over and over and over again.
Yep.
Right, which is cool. High dollar value is, it makes the cash register ring and makes you money, but it's not just legacy focused. So sales, marketing, copy, speaking, client meetings, referral programs, that's high dollar. Low dollar is busy work, errands, organizing administrative things, taking out files, a lot of things you can outsource. A lot of them don't even really check email, scheduling appointments, shopping, things like that. And then $0 is things that don't just waste time, they like suck up your life. Like TV, gossiping, negative things, that kind of stuff. And you'll very rarely find the billionaires like hanging out watching Netflix.
Yeah.
They're so focused on creating, and their movement is so compelling that they can't even think about doing something that escapes reality. So I would think about what those are for you and for people watching is what are your lifetime values? What are your high dollar? What are your low dollar and your $0? And usually where you spend the majority of your time is your current income situation. So if you're on a lot of low dollar, you're not making much money. If you're on a lot of lifetime and high dollar, you're probably making 6 or 7 figures as well. So they're just really, really focused on making sure they have the highest dollar value work possible and delegate everything else to the right person.
Legit. And hey, if you're getting value out of this, I know that this is some next level content. So hit the like button and let us know in the comment section below, what is one thing that you know you need to delegate right now? Maybe you're in a place to do it, or maybe you don't even feel like you're in a place, but you still know that you need to get into that leverage, scaling, and momentum. So tell us in the comments, what is one thing you know you need to delegate? Which brings us to tip number 4, and that is the unstoppable combination. What's that?
So this combination, 80% of what you're doing throughout the week should be profit producing and high value activities, like low hanging fruit. And this is not just for people that want to get to 7 figures, this is for anybody. So the unstoppable combination is 80% always should be profit producing, things that are non-negotiable, things that drive your business forward. And here's the big key. A lot of people just do things in their business that maintain versus produce growth. Everything that maintains your business should be fully automated, systemized, and delegated. Always.
Yeah.
If you're only doing things that maintain your business, you just have a high-paying 9 to 5. And people get into business for freedom, but they end up having the business run them. That's why. So you have to make sure you make a list of things that maintain your business and things that produce growth in and out every week, and only do the growth and delegate the maintain. So 80% of your time should be on the profit-producing, growth-focused activities, and 20% should be on high lifetime, high legacy activities. Always be working on something legacy-focused. So book, maybe it's an album, maybe it's artwork, maybe it's your investment portfolio. Something legacy-focused should be worked on 20% of the time, at all times. Here's what's cool. Eventually, if you do this right, as your influence and income and leverage grows, you flip it. So I'm getting to the point where now I can work 80% on legacy stuff that does not pay me right now. I have leverage, so I don't care. I can work on things I love that pay me later, and only 20% of the systems create income consistently, and it flips. And that's the best way to live, is when you have full leverage and autonomy, where you don't need people, they need you. You become so valuable and irreplaceable that you can say no to everything you want to say no to and yes to what you want to say yes to. So I think every entrepreneur should make sure they're focused on 80% profit producing and growth activities, 20% legacy, and eventually flips, where you're working on legacy things. Because legacy things are the things that when you're 80, 90 years old, like, I'm so glad I created that. If you're just maintaining, there's nothing really that's built that you're proud of. Ryan Blair talked about that. He's always working on something that will make his kids proud later. So that's why I'm like, these mixtapes don't make me a lot of money. And a lot of the books are hard to do. I don't get paid for a year. But it's so focused on, like, I can't wait for 10 years from now. I look back like, whoa, that's weird I wrote that book. I was in a whole different stage. So I want to focus on legacy things. And I think if people can focus more on that, they'll have an amazing future self. They'll be excited about their future self because they're doing all these things in the moment that allow them to flourish later. So that's it. That's the unstoppable combination. It's just the high value, high legacy, and then it flips when you do it right.
Fire content, Peter. Really love this. And if you're watching this, your next step is to actually check out other videos in the series. So if you're finding, you're like, I'm ready to speed up, we actually did a whole series about social media, more productivity tips, a lot of ways that you can go further, faster in the new economy. So we'll link to that. We can throw it on the YouTube card and put it in the description below. Peter, final thoughts.
Now matters. This is something that you got to take action on right away. The biggest difference I see in billionaires and people that are not at six figures yet is speed of implementation. How fast can you go from listening to actually executing? And it doesn't have to be something that maybe would match your business. Execute and fail, but continue executing till the right things stick. If you can tell yourself right now matters and you can execute these things, you'll change the game pretty quickly.
I love
and you'll
it.
rise above the noise.
I love it, man. Hey, smash the like button and we will see you in the next video. Peace.
Smash it. Hey, what's up guys? If you like this video, I think you'll really enjoy these videos right here. And also please make sure you subscribe, hit the subscribe button below. We have a lot of amazing content coming out. See you guys soon.